The way in which I create these short stories is every day I try to establish a routine. For each story, I reserve about 2 hours. I try to wake up really early in the morning at 6 o'clock. So I try to do this kind of outside of office hours. Every afternoon after lunch, so that would be around 1 o'clock, I go out for a walk. I live very close to the woods here, so I just put on my walking boots and I take a walk in the forest, and it's really beautiful. It feels like I'm in the Shire. But I always take my phone with me, and I think about a story, a short story. What can I come up with today? And usually I always find at least one story, but there are times that I have like 4 or 5 ideas. And what I do is I just switch on a recording app on my phone, and I start just telling the story as if I'm telling it to you, as if you're walking next to me. And that has been the game changer, because I imagine that I'm telling the story to someone else. So there is no iteration. My brain is just like, okay, deliver the story. But I'm not tempted to be too perfectionistic or to make it too like all the refinement is for the editing phase the next morning, when I just sit down here in silence in my office and I can just focus on making it pretty. But the most important element is to have that story and to know where it's going and how it ends. And very often I will have an idea. And I will just start telling the story, even though I don't know exactly how I'm going to wrap things up, how I'm going to do the ending. And the funny thing is, it always comes together. And sometimes it takes about 45 minutes. There are times where I write a story that may end up only as, 1,500 words on Substack. But in order to tell that story and to kind of figure out the ending, it takes me 45 minutes to record. But that's not a problem, because then what I do is I take that recording and I run it through a transcription app that I have on my computer. And so what I love about that is that I've been basically dictating the story, but there are a lot of pauses where I have to think, like, okay, so what's going to happen, and then or ums and silences. The transcription doesn't care. It just writes down every word that I've said. If I'm thinking, it won't show up in the transcript. And so every morning, I already have like a rough draft of my story. And then it all comes down to kind of condensing it, taking out what is, not relevant. And sometimes I will just have to work a little bit on the ending. And then I post it on Substack. I add a picture, and that's it. That's what I've been doing.